Hope you're doing well today. Hope you and your family are doing good, doing great. Uh, excuse me. It is February 20th, 2025, and we are NBA is back, literally officially now back officially. Yet last night wasn't really truly an official return. It was just one game, Charlotte at the Lakers. But if you took the Hornets like I did, where I talked about that in the live stream yesterday during the NCAA live stream picks from yesterday, which I'll dive into some of my picks or all of my NCAA picks during the stream. But yeah, the Hornets not only covered the spread, which originally started at 12 and a half, plus 12 and a half, and then dipped down to plus 11 and a half. They ended up winning on the road, 107 to 98, if I remember correctly. Let me double check and make sure that's the actual truth to that statement. 97, excuse me, 100 to 97, excuse me. If you faded both teams on the team total points, you cashed. Again, if you took the Hornets on the spread, you cashed. And if you took Austin Reeves under on anything, points, rebounds, assists, a combination of all three, or either one, or a combination of two, you cashed because he got ejected at some point during the game. I don't know specifically when, because the game was late and I was already asleep. I took Austin Reeves 6.5 assists at plus value. Of course, he only finished with two of them because Luka was actually being Luka. From what I saw, he had 8 assists. He was literally 2 assists shy from a triple double last night, but he finished with 14 points and I think 11 rebounds. Let me double check that. 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. So if you took Luka's PRA, I want to say, and you faded him, you cashed. So there was still a way to cash last night, and yeah, the only thing that didn't cash for me that was I went 1-4-1 last night. One and 4 for college, but in totality I went 3-5-1 because again I added my few picks for the Hornets Lakers game. So the one that didn't cash or didn't do anything was the Hornets to win the fourth quarter straight up, because they were 6-3-1 at the time. So now they're currently 6-3-2, because one game a couple of weeks ago, I forgot who, it may have been Denver, the fourth quarter that both teams scored 20 points. Nobody won that quarter. And last night, in that fourth quarter, both teams scored 31 points, tied it up, but the Hornets won again, scoring 100 points. So needless to say, I'll take the 3 wins that I had. Could have technically went 4-4 had the Hornets won the fourth quarter. But enough of that. Let's dive into these couple of law picks that I talked about in the video from earlier today, as well as the as well as the rest of the picks for tonight's 9 games. Like, we have 18 games over the next 48 hours basically. There's 9 games tonight and 9 games tomorrow for the NBA. So the NBA is back. But the 2 lock picks, I decided to fade the Indiana Pacers, simply because the Grizzlies, my Grizzlies are heading to the Pacers. There's a specific pick that I did take that I did not know a specific player was questionable, and sucks. Prayers, positive thoughts, all of that to Wemby. He's out for the rest of the year due to blood clots in his shoulder, whichever shoulder it is. That sucks, because originally he was slated to not play at all tonight, and I was like, oh, probably gonna play, the next game. But I didn't know. I want to say none of us knew or saw this coming, but Wemby's done for the rest of the year basically. Of course they're optimistic that he shall return at some point. But yeah, first lock pick is for me to fade the Indiana Pacers at home against my Grizzlies. When we look at this, I took the number. It was minus 110 over on BetMGM at the time for them to go under 124 points. As I always say, I don't like it because I see it here. It's now sitting at plus 100. So it actually dipped up one. So let's actually get the number that is more of a better spot. Technically, this is good. I mean, technically, this is great of a spot, but this is the actual spot. Now it dipped up to 124 and a half. Which is minus 110. But again, I grabbed it at minus one. I got it at 123 and a half. Again, this morning at minus 110 over on BetMGM. But when we really look at this, either way, whether it was 124 and a half or 123, either way, it's still the same. They've hit this mark 60% of the time over the last 10 games. 80% over the last 5. They've only gone over once, and that was pretty much the I want to say this was their last game before the All-Star break. They went under. They scored 134 points. Against the Washington Wizards, who scored 130. My Grizzlies are actually our defense is allowing 116 points, 115.8. In a head-to-head matchup, though, we have, per our defense, have been pretty much for the most part shutting this team down. They did hit 121 this past December on the 1st of this season. So, at least it's showing me, we're currently now allowing, the Pacers to score at least 113 points against us. But in the last 10 games, when you really look at it too, the Pacers are averaging 120 points, 119.7. But the last 10 games, the last 5 games though, they're actually averaging 115, 14.8. So there's a chance that this could more than likely possibly go under the mark. We'll see what happens. When we look at the injury report, nothing really specific stands out. Sounds like everybody's healthy. Ja, is going to be playing. Turner's going to be playing. So we'll see with this pick here specifically when we really look at that. So then that's that. That's the first lock pick. And the other lock pick, I decided to fade. This actually did not budge. And I will gladly take it, but I grabbed this number. It looks like it hit plus 100 though. Only reason why it hit plus 100 because of the point half. I grabbed this over on Caesars minus 110 for this to go under 243, no half, for this to go under 243. Bulls at Knicks. Josh Hart is not playing. I believe OG is still game time decision. Yes. Mitchell Robinson's still out. Patrick Williams is out. So, outside of all of that, this is what we really look at. When I really looked at this, I looked at what the teams are doing specifically in the specific spots. So the Bulls are hitting the under in their games 90% of the time. It almost went under. It technically could have gone under, but they balled out at Detroit on the 2nd of February. While the Knicks at home are hitting this mark 70% of the time as far as the under. They've gone under this mark 4 out of the last 5. Technically, both teams, 4 out of the last 5, as far as, Bulls being on the road and Knicks being at home. So that's why I grabbed this one. And in the head-to-head matchup, they actually went under 2 out of the last 3 games in the head-to-head matchup at New York. But the most recent one from earlier this year, it went over. So, but again, that was back in November, and Zach LaVine was playing for the team. So that's that. So that's that lock pick. Next up, I actually decided to go against the grain here. I want to see if this specific team can make the magic happen against a now AD-less Luka Doncic based team now. I decided to go with a spread, and this actually possibly may work out. The spread it dropped 2 points. I got it over on FanDuel minus 112 for the Blazers to cover the spread at plus 3.5. This, as you see, it dipped down to dip down to 1.5. Drop my phone. It dipped down over the course of the last actually it dipped down. Let's see, let's look at this. Let's see, when did it really dip down? So it was still, this is basically by the time I got home, it was still sitting at 3.5, and it literally just, the line moved tremendously over the last hour, basically. So I grabbed this. Doesn't say specifically what time. Usually it does. So I grabbed this super early in the morning. So this is when I grabbed it. Way, not yesterday, but I grabbed this 3.5 around like here, 4:30. Because this is when I'm on my way to work, and I'm on the bus in between here around like 4:40 something in the morning, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when I'm on the bus, that's like a 15+ minute ride, roughly, at least heading to work. So I'm usually just like going through my picks while I'm on the bus. That's, even if, again, this is 9 picks and I grabbed pretty much mostly all of them while I was on the bus. So that lets you know that I'm able to, really grab some picks and really handle business simple and easy. So yeah. But as you see, over the last hour, I dipped out. So I grabbed this simply because I want to see if the Blazers can actually handle business here on at home against the Lakers. Head-to-head matchup, Lakers have covered the spread every game that they played, which includes this season. They covered both games, winning pretty much under 10 points both games. Both at LA though, so that's why I'm saying this is like the main reason. They on the road, the Blazers have not been able to cover. I want to see if the Blazers can cover at home, because at home the last 10 games they're actually they've covered the last 10 games 70% of the time per this number at home. So while the Lakers are actually covering 50% of the number. So we'll see what happens with this pick. That is that one. Next up, this pick might work out. We'll see what happens. It's the Spurs game. Again, I'm just going in order to pick up of what I picked when I was on the bus. And that's the thing. I didn't even know Wemby wasn't playing. And you know what? I don't think they're letting me pick at all. Let me see. Not first basket. Let me see. So they're not. Oh, there we go. Okay, this will work out. So Stephon Castle, this works right here. Stephon Castle. I decided to go. Let's see if this line moved at all, or the number moved at all. Per this pick. So I decided to. It bumped up one. So I grabbed Castle to score 13.5 points. To score 14 points tonight. At home. He said this mark 80% of the time. Now it bumped up to 14.5 minus 130, but I got this minus 120 over on DraftKings. So it bumped up. So the last 10 games, he said this mark 80% of the time. Last 5 games, same thing, 80% of the time. Head-to-head matchup, the one game that they played against Phoenix at Phoenix this season, he hit 16 points. So, but per the position, they're allowing 26 points. So I kind of feel like this should be a simple spot again because Wemby's out. So he should have specifically he should be, if he's not starting, even if he's not starting, he still should get 15 plus, maybe 20 touches tonight, with a high chance of scoring against Phoenix on the road. I mean at home. So that's that pick. I'm kind of rushing through everything because I'm washing clothes next door and my alarm is set for 5:15. It's 4:51 currently, right? 4:53 p.m. So I'm rushing through all my stuff. Next up was Boston heading to Philly. This is going to be an interesting one simply because I don't know if maybe Embiid's playing, maybe George is playing, Maxey, all of that tonight. We can maybe look at the injury report here too. So that the number actually dipped up. So I grabbed this. I took the over. I grabbed this over on Caesars, minus 110 for it to go over 223.5. This dipped up to 225.5. Now it's at minus 105 over on ESPN Bet. and then minus 110 per other sports books. So I looked at this and I pretty much was garnering more so with like the matchup is 50-50. The last couple of games more so this season, it went over both games per the number. And when we really look at it, it's the same number, around the same number here. Again, I grabbed it at 223.5, so it's pretty much the same number. So both games they scored, definitely over 110 points, 10 plus points. So I'm kind of having that feeling that not so much what has Boston done when they're playing at, on the road, or even Philly at home. Again, the over for both teams has hit 3 out of the last 5 games for both. So I just decided to just go on ahead and take this. So I am going to, press my luck with this pick and hope that that occurs. Next up is another over. Going with another Jover, as I would say. And this number did not budge. It's the Cavs at Brooklyn. This one was a little bit of an interesting one because I was more so thinking about fading Brooklyn on their team total points. That was like a heavy thing for me, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance that both teams get this 226 tonight. I'm going to get the over. Same thing, over on Caesars. Same value, minus 110, 225.5. Now it dipped down to minus 105 over. Same thing, over on ESPN Bet, like the Boston Philly game. So for this one seemed a little bit, just a smidge bit more easier for me to grab because Cleveland on the road has been hitting this mark 60% of the time. They've hit it 3 out of the last 5 games. While again, excuse me. I'm sorry. Away. I apologize. Cleveland away. I was looking at home, but away they've hit the mark 5 straight games, right? For the Cavs, but the under has hit every game the last 10 games for the Brooklyn Nets. So this is more of the riskier bet, in my opinion. To be honest, as I always say, I try to do more of a riskier thing than just taking easy stuff. I do take easy picks. I do create easy picks for myself off to the side. But I like the pressure of, getting, picking picks that have a chance of losing, sometimes even a higher chance of losing, because I really want to see what these players and these teams can do, each game that they play. So yeah, that's why I said, let me really look at this. And really, you can look at the head-to-head matchup. This hit the over hit 2 out of the last 3 games per the matchup here. So it all depends. Like Cam Thomas is still out. I think somebody else is out. They just have Johnson and D'Lo. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm hopeful that this will go over the number. I have 3 more picks and we're done. And I'll probably just real briefly talk about my college picks. I'm going to run through the next 3 as fast as possible. Next up is, here we go, Orlando at the Hawks. I could have easily taken Hawks. Again, that's sounding like the much more easier thing to take the spread, right? Because the Hawks have been like covering tremendously, right? Over the last couple of weeks, they've just been covering machine, right? Kind of got it together, right? Could have went with the over or the under for the number, but I am going to take a chance on the Orlando Magic not scoring their team total points that I picked. So I grabbed this over on DraftKings, minus 105 at the time. All right, so it dipped down. It dipped up 1. So I grabbed 111 and a half, but as you see, it's plus 102 now. So the better value is actually here, which is minus 112 over on FanDuel. But they've hit this mark 70% of the time going under this number. And more recently, the last 5 games, again, that was 10 games. The last 5 games, they've hit this mark 80% of the time. The last 4 games, they've done it 4 straight. The kicker thing to note is that the Hawks are allowing per their defense 119 points. So this is another risky bet. In a head-to-head matchup, the last 3 games alone, the Orlando Magic have gone under, 113. So we will see what happens. They're averaging 108 points against Atlanta. They're averaging 107 points the last 10 games and 108 the last 5. So we'll see with that pick. Again, I'm just breezing through these next. This is the pick that I was talking about earlier in the stream, that I took a player that I did not know was questionable. I forgot to look up the status of this player, or just in general, because again, I was on the bus and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with the homie tonight. Where are you, sir? You are not showing up. And let's see. So your game time decision. I went and grabbed Norman Powell, but he's not showing up as a pick. Let's see. He might not be. That might be the reason why, but because he might not. Here we go. So I decided to go. Let's see if this number moved at all. Again, he's game time decision. Again, I did not know he was game time decision. So the number dipped down actually. So I got it. It dipped down. So it's the same value. It's minus 105. I grabbed it over on FanDuel for him to score 24 points tonight. Now it has him basically scoring 23. He said he's marked 60% of the last 10 games, but struggled the last 5 games. Head-to-head matchup though, he hit it twice, averaging 22 points. He hit this mark even this season. He had 33 points per the matchup though. The head-to-head matchup, the position, they're actually allowing 26 points. So that's like one of the reasons why. It was more so the head-to-head matchup and per the defense, what the Bucks are doing against the shooting guard position. So we'll see if he's playing tonight, but that's that pick. Next up, I'm a stickler. I am just, I don't know. I want this to work out for me. I decided to fade the Hornets tonight. I literally should have faded their team total points last night, because they went under the number last night. But as you see, the number went up. So let's see. It must have decided to do something else here. So it actually went down one. So it's 104. So this is the better value. But I grabbed 105.5 over on BetMGM, minus 110 for them to go under that number. But as you see, it's the same thing. 80% last 10 games, 80% the last 5. Last 5 they're averaged 99. The last 10 games they've averaged what they had last night, which was 100 points. Per the defense, Denver is allowing 116 points, and they only went over against San Antonio at home and against Washington at home. But they are on the road, right? So we can even look at what they are doing. I'm trying to do this real quickly because again, my alarm is going to go off soon and I want to be able to go get my clothes. Whoops, wrong one. We can look at what they've done over the last 5 to 10 games as far as let's look at away. So last 10 games, they've gone over the mark. Over the last 5 games, they've gone over the mark once, and that was back on January 22nd. They did it again the day before that, and the day before that. So the last 5 games they've been struggling. So you would sit here and say the last 5 games they've been really going under that number. So we will see what happens tonight. Head-to-head matchup as well. The only time that they played, they went under, and that was last season though. So yeah, that's that pick. So we'll see. I just decided to go on ahead and attempt and try to hopefully make it do what it do. Let me dive real quickly into my college picks real quickly, because again, I got about 10 minutes before my alarm goes off and we'll be done, or I'll be done. It's gonna be as fast as I can. Hopefully 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and we'll be done. But if I don't get through all of this, all of those college picks have been posted on my Twitter account at Vortex46, and these picks that I have for the NBA are going to be, I think I posted like 2 or 3 of them already. I'm going to post the rest once the live stream is done, and I grab my clothes and fold them and stuff like that here at the house. But I took the over for this game here. Marshall at Old Dominion. It was 145.5, but now it dipped up to 175.5 as you see. Minus 102 over on BetMGM, but I grabbed this over on DraftKings at minus 115. So pretty much just looking at it, it was more so for Old Dominion when they're at home, because away for Marshall, they struggled to pretty much score. This is hitting 70% for the under, but Old Dominion, no, I'm sorry, that's what it was. I looked at everything and I was like, well, the last time they played against each other, they went over, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the over, right? But it was more so what they were doing as a team separately. So Marshall, they're scoring, roughly around like 70 points the last 5, and Old Dominion at home, they're scoring same thing around like 70 the last 5. So I just said, well, maybe they can get that 140 plus, and maybe it'll go over the 145.5. So that's what it was. Let's see, next up was the spread here. I decided to go with UMBC to cover the spread. It dipped down 1. I grabbed it on FanDuel minus 110 plus 7.5, but as you see, it dipped down 1 up to plus 6.5 minus 110. Main reason, 1, head-to-head matchup. The 7.5 was covered once last season, so kind of look at that. So it was like kind of like a 1-on-1. But then the away, it was more so UMBC away. They've been covering machines the last 10 games. That this hit the mark 70% of the time, compared to what UMass is doing here at home. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go on ahead and go with this one here, because again, like I said, UMBC has been covering like crazy, so that's the main reason why I took that one. Next up was here we go. Central Connecticut State Blue Devils at Chicago State Cougars. I decided to go with the home team. Team total points for the home team, for them to go over. It dipped up 1. I grabbed it on FanDuel minus 104, 62.5. This dipped up 1 to 63.5. I grabbed this. Main reason, as you see, they've been hitting the mark 70% of the time. Really haven't been scoring under 63 points over the last several games. Even in the last 5 games, 80%. Again, they've only gone under this number 3 times in the head-to-head matchup. The one time that they played, which was last month at the end of the month on the 26th, they scored 64 points. Plus, Central they're actually allowing, per the defense, they're allowing 64 points. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go ahead and hammer this over here for this pick, real smooth like. So that's that one. Let's see. Next up, here we go. I decided to go with the over. This number did not budge, it did not move. Maybe the value did though. So I grabbed this earlier this morning, 146.5. Actually, it did dip down. Sorry, it dipped down 145.5. So I grabbed this 146.5 minus 105 over on DraftKings. As you see, it dipped down to 145.5 minus 115 over on FanDuel, I looked at it as, okay, UNC, Asheville, on the road, hitting the mark 70% of the time. The last 2 games it went over. Like, as we're looking at the number, it was 154.5, 162, it went over. And then at more so at home, Radford at home, the number has just been just like wherever it's sitting, 140, whatever, 150, it's going over. So that's the main reason why I grabbed this for this pick here specifically. And I think I think that's it. And that is that. I have, like I said, I have 9 NBA picks, and I grabbed, like I said, let me look at it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just grabbed 4 college picks for the night. We'll see what happens with everything. So that's what, 13 picks in total. 9 NBA picks, 4 college basketball picks. I may add 1 more to even it out. I don't like odd numbers, so I might add something extra that I'll post over on my Twitter account. Again, follow if you feel up to it. Vortex46. And we will see what happens. So it's Vortex and then the number 46, all one word. So we'll see what happens with everything. But with that, good luck to everybody's picks. If you feel comfortable, leave some comments in the comment section below this live stream video after it goes out. If you feel comfortable, share your picks for your picks, whatever it is, college or NBA. I'm glad the NBA is back. Like I said, 9 games tonight, 9 games tomorrow, and whatever plethora of other college basketball picks for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But with that, I'm out. Getting ready to go get my clothes out the dryer in a few minutes because my alarm's about to go off, and I'm gonna chill out and then definitely look to possibly work on a video for tonight. We have, like I said, we have 9 games tomorrow. There's nothing showing up on Outlier currently. Do they have anything for NCAA up yet? Anything at all? They do. They have stuff up already. I don't think it's every game, but I'm gonna look at some of this stuff probably after I eat dinner. We'll see what happens. But I'm out. I'll holler at you later, guys. Stay safe, stay humble, and let's get some wins tonight. Holler at you later, guys. Peace. Live stream tomorrow, 8 a.m. 8 or 8:30 a.m. Whatever, whichever one comes first, 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Live stream to talk about NBA and college picks, and probably more than likely will be fresh, straight up picks that I haven't even worked on. We'll see what happens. But I'm out, guys. Peace.